So there's an eclipse coming, and I thought it might be interesting for people to understand where in their chart it's taking place. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what eclipses are, how to use them, what it means for your rising sign. And then at the very end, once you've listened to your rising sign, hop to the last section of the video because I'm going to be telling you about how to make the most of the energies. I will say if you've got my Moonology diary, you don't have to watch the video. It's all in there. But if you don't, why don't you have it? Go to moonologydiary.com and see if you can get a last copy. I don't know if there's any left or not. Let me run through it, and I'm going to put links below so you can jump straight to your rising sign. Now, why am I going to talk about rising signs instead of star signs or sun signs? Because if you talk about rising signs, it's the same as actually getting your chart done. So if you were to go to an astrologer and say, where is this eclipse taking place for me? They would tell you based on your time, date, and place of birth. And that means your chart will be laid out based on which sign was coming up over the eastern horizon at the time that you were born in the place that you were born. So your rising sign is actually the most personal point on your chart. And it will actually help you hugely to know your rising sign. If you don't know it yet, go to
moonmessages.com free chart.
Find out your rising sign, and then you'll get a prediction that I'm about to give you based on your actual chart, not just on your star sign, which is something everyone knows. And it's a quick fix. If you really want to know how this eclipse is going to affect you, then you want to know your rising sign. So eclipses are, I always say, when the universe changes gears. They're when everything starts to change. It's where if you've been resisting a change that you knew was the right thing to do, that was right for you, the universe knows it's right for you, it can be a time where you just get thwacked into your new reality, ready or not. It's said that doors that close at the time of an eclipse rarely open again, which can be really hard, especially if you're someone who clings on to the past. You're just going to end up making yourself very miserable. But eclipses can be the best thing that ever happened to you. And it's often afterwards you'll say, well, it was difficult, but it turned out for the best. Okay. So wherever you've got this upcoming new moon eclipse in your chart is where you have this opportunity for big changes. And by the way, it's a new moon eclipse in the sign of Aquarius, and it's taking place on February 17, pretty much wherever you are in the world. And as I say in the diary, eclipses are best described as portals through which we can choose to walk, or sometimes we feel we're being pushed through towards a new life. So where in your life do you want a do-over, a restart, or a chance to turn things around? So let me tell you where this eclipse is taking place for you based on your rising sign. Are you ready? So if you are Aries rising, then this eclipse hits your 11th house. That's the part of your chart that's all about friends, networks, community, long-term goals, and whatever you're wishing for. Okay, now because it's a new moon eclipse, it can be a time where a new moon wish suddenly comes true. So if you don't normally make new moon wishes, make sure you do. And make sure you come to my Written in the Stars workshop as well, actually. Go to moonmessages.com/rising, moonmessages.com/rising. I do a once a year workshop for each of the rising signs when it's the new moon in your 11th house. And for Aries rising, it is. So you're being asked to upgrade the future that you're wishing for. And also, if it doesn't sound too awful to say, maybe to make some changes to the people you surround yourself with. So ask yourself, who am I building the next chapter with? Okay. Taurus rising, that is your 10th house that's being triggered by this eclipse. So that covers career, ambitions, your reputation, and the direction you're headed in. And again, because it's a new moon eclipse, it's lots of good new stuff. Now, you might feel a little bit restless in a role that once felt safe and secure, okay? And if that's the case, it's the eclipse pointing you towards growth, okay? A new moon eclipse brings a big burst of energy, and for you, it's in your career zone. So now is the time for you to say, no matter what's happened, maybe you've had a couple of years of going, oh, can't be bothered, want to go and sit in the field and chew the card. The eclipse is pointing you towards growth. So, what do you want to be known for? Okay. Really important to ask yourself, what do I want to be known for out in the world, Taurus rising people? Okay, Gemini rising, it's taking place in your ninth house. So, your ninth house is all about study, publishing, travel, beliefs, the great cosmic quest, and your life perspective. And so, with this eclipse energy, your world view is shifting. If something you believed about yourself or the limits of who you are feels outdated, trust that it's time to expand. Okay. You are expanding at this time. You can expand your mind, expand your horizons, and expand your life perspective. All right. Cancer rising, eighth house. So it's about shared finances, emotional bonds, power dynamics, and sex. Basically, it's your sex and money zone. So now is the time to release unhealthy entanglements, unhealthy attachments. And also, you're getting some big new energy when it comes to money. It's time to blast through debts, pay off what you said you were going to pay off, and really start to say, okay, this is a new cycle for me financially. This is a deep clearing for you when it comes to sex and money. And remember, freedom follows courage, okay? So get out there and be bold when it comes to sex and money. Leo rising, very interesting if you're Leo rising. It's your seventh house of love. So that's actually about relationships, essentially, and love relationships in particular. Can be about enemies, not going to lie, but essentially, we're talking about relationships and the most important people in your life. And the dynamics may be changing. It may be that you are evolving into a new commitment with someone, or maybe you want to evolve out of that commitment. I remember once talking to someone who'd had an eclipse, a new moon eclipse in their seventh house in their love zone. And she worked at one of the magazines I wrote for. And I said, what happened? And she said, nothing really. And then someone said, you got married. So it can be getting married. It can also be deciding that you've had enough. It's a big change for you when it comes to love and your most important one-to-one relationships. And I think a question you can ask yourself is, am I meeting others as who I am now or as my past self? Am I bringing my real me, 2026, to the party, or am I acting my past self? Okay, Virgo rising, that is your sixth house. Now, this is a really interesting one because Virgo actually is all about this house. It's daily routines, daily health routines, daily life, the systems you use at work. And what you'll find now is there is going to be a big change for you coming to do with your daily life, your daily routines, your health routines, your daily work. And also, it's not there are changes coming, but you can actually be proactive because tiny changes now create massive ripple effects for at least the next 6 months. It's a really good time to fix any habits which you know are doing you no good. If you're Virgo rising, you tend to be quite good with your habits, but if not, you will find that when you fix the habits, everything else follows. All right. Libra rising, fifth house. So this is the part of your chart that's about romance, creativity, children, your own or someone else's, also about joy and fun and confidence. So now is a really good time if you're Libra rising to think about taking a little risk in your life, having a bit of fun, expressing yourself more, really deciding that you want to have fun and you're entitled to have fun. Maybe you've been working too hard. Very much a time for new starts when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your creative cycles, and also with children, whether you're wanting to have them or you've got them, or you're maybe with someone who's got children. Now suddenly you've got stepchildren. Big time, new energy coming in for that. For Scorpio rising people, it's taking place in your fourth house. So fourth house is home, family, emotional foundations. It's about moon, renovations, new energy coming into your private life. It's also a time when you can do a boundary reset, where you can work on inner healing and where you can redefine what feels safe for you. Expect changes when it comes to your daily family life. And maybe if there's been an upset in the family, it can be a really good time to start to create harmony where there's been upset that changes everything. Okay. It can change everything. All right. And that's really about your personal life. So, Sagittarius rising, it's your third house. Okay. This is communication, writing, learning, siblings. It's the way you think, the way you listen, the way you express yourself. Say the thing, pitch the idea, start the project, send the message. Your voice or written messages are really part of your destiny path now. So it's really time to be sure that you are expressing yourself. Okay, Capricorn rising, it's your second house. So that's to do with cash, property, possessions, money, self-worth, security. It's a whole restart for you because it's a new moon eclipse that could open up some new earning routes, for example, some new ways to earn, some new ideas that are going to bring in money. Can be a time if you're working to do some pricing upgrades. Maybe if you work for yourself, it's time to raise your prices. It's also a time that you can start to feel better about yourself because this house is about your values. So there could be some new energy coming in there, but it's also about self-esteem. So it can be a new self-confidence. There can be confidence shifts at this time. Okay. So the thing to ask yourself is, do my finances match the future that I want? Or am I setting myself up for finances that match the future I want? Okay, Aquarius rising, it's your first house. Okay, so this is huge. It's basically your whole life. And especially when it comes to the way people see you, the way you come across in the world, it's really a chance for an identity reset. It's a time to get all your hair chopped off and go get blue hair or something, or get your nose pierced, or something that's going to change the way you look. Maybe you're going to lose a lot of weight or gain a lot of weight. It's really a lot about changing the way you come across in the world. It's about image, it's about your direction, and it's also about really, it's time to shed an old skin and to really see, who am I now in 2026? Let the past go, because this is reinvention in real time, this period for you. And you've got to seize the day. It's very important. Pisces rising, last but not least, it's taking place in your 12th house. So this is the part of your chart that's all about spirituality. It's about your fears. It's about rest, your spiritual life. It can be about endings. It can be about retreat. So something behind the scenes that you don't necessarily talk about is closing now, okay? So honor whatever quiet insights you're getting, honor your dreams, and whatever dissolves now as we move through the eclipse portal is creating space for miracles in your life. If you have been wanting to get on the spiritual path again, it's a great time, Pisces rising, to be able to do that. Okay, so in summary, whichever rising sign you are, notice this eclipse is rebooting one major life department for you. So in the lead up to the eclipse, it's important to release whatever has finished. Set some radical intentions at the time of the new moon. I'll be on Facebook doing my free new moon update. I do every month, and I'll be in my mainly Moonology membership. We'll be doing manifesting together. So set that radical intention. And remember as well that Saturn and Neptune are really active right now. So take Saturn-style steps, disciplined, organized steps towards Neptune dreams, the big imaginations of whatever it is you want to envisage for yourself. That's how you can work through the eclipses properly. Okay, so before I go, I want to share with you why I chose this exact new moon eclipse to release my latest deck of cards. For those of you who don't know, My name is Yasmin Boland, and I'm the creator of Moonology. And I did create a pack of cards called the Moonology Oracle cards, which became the best-selling Oracle cards in the history of Oracle cards, and are still selling hotcakes. And I've made some other decks since then, which also sell extremely well. And my latest one is this beautiful deck called the Dark Moon Oracle. And I've chosen this eclipse for them to come out because launching on a new moon is astrologically powerful. So think about what you want to launch in your life. Could be moving house. I'm launching my new life in my new house, or it could be buying a new car or whatever. It's very powerful because the new moon is about beginnings. It's about planting seeds. It's about starting cycles with intention. But when you're working with a new moon that's also an eclipse, you're working with a moment that can actually change your trajectory, okay? It magnifies whatever is going on. I remember reading a book about the new moon and new moon eclipses by a woman called Sophia Mason back in the day. And she said, if there's a new moon in your second house, you might find a $10 note in your pocket. If there's a new moon eclipse, it's more to be $100. It's that eclipses amplify things. For better or worse, sometimes they can be really difficult, especially if you've been resisting what's been going on. And so just before the new moon, we get the dark moon, okay? And the dark moon is the phase that prepares us for this rebirth at new moon. The dark moon is where we release all the stuff so that when we get to the new moon, we are ready to send our intentions out into the universe, to clear emotional baggage, end repeating patterns, let old identities dissolve before the new moon, before the next chapter starts. So these cards were created for exactly this kind of moment to help you navigate the end of a cycle really consciously, to get the truth of what's going on and to step into what's waiting to emerge so that when the new moon comes, or in this case, the new moon eclipse comes, you are really ready. So if this eclipse has stirred something up in you and you can feel that you're on this threshold between your old life and your new life, then I would say make sure you work with the dark moon this month. Get yourself a copy of the Dark Moon Oracle cards. If you order them now, they're on pre-order. You get a whole lot of amazing bonuses as well. They will be released on the day of the new moon eclipse. Use them to clear what's done and to make space for whatever is coming next.